but for you, 3 is great. Okay. What are different types of salts is first is acidic salt, basic salt, and third is neutral salt. So I'm going to be telling you what these salts mean. From the name itself, I think you can gauge what it does mean. So yeah, acidic, basic, and neutral salt. And apart from that, then we are come to the fourth point, which is the process of knowing the nature of salt. So sometimes what happens is that you are given a compound. मतलब for example, NH4Cl है. In the exam, what we can ask is, I'll just give you this compound, NH4Cl, and then I'll ask you to tell me whether this is acidic or basic or neutral. Okay. So how to do that? So that is known as process of knowing, and that's what I'll teach you. Okay. So these are the 4 points for today. Pretty crisp, clear, and we'll go ahead with this. And yeah, Rutu, I've started recording, so no worries about that. Thank you for reminding. Yeah. So before we begin, before I go on with the concept, before I go ahead, I'm going to be doing a thought experiment with you. Thought experiment is nothing but we have to imagine ourselves in one scenario, okay, and then imagine what will happen. So in your head, you have to do this experiment. Okay, you don't need any apparatus, you don't need anything physical for this. So the thought experiment goes like this. Suppose it's your summer holidays. Okay, summer holidays shuru hai, and all of you have gone to play cricket with your friends. Okay, सुबह सुबह जाके cricket खेलना शुरू किया. I used to do that when I was a kid, and for playing it for 5-6 hours, your mom calls you home, and she's like, "Abhi, you have lunch to do. Lunch hai to ghar aa jao." So you go home, but when you go home, the thing is that it's so hot out there. 40 degrees में हम लोग क्रिकेट खेल रहे थे. So you're very thirsty. So your mom gives you lemonade. Lemonade मतलब नींबू पानी. Okay, and you gulp it down. You drink it because एक तो भूख लगी है, एक प्यास लगी है, and it's very hot. What you do next is you have an idea in your mind. So why not I learn how to make lemonade? So next time if I am thirsty, I can directly make the lemonade. I don't need to ask my mom. Okay, so this is the premise that you are playing cricket. Your mom gave you lemonade, but now you are going to be trying to make your own. So from that, we go ahead making lemonade, nimbu pani, and how does this relate with acid, bases, and salts is what I'm going to be telling you. Okay. So this is lemonade stock image from the internet which I got, and so you ask your mom, what do you need? Like, mom, lemonade nimbu pani बनाने के लिए क्या क्या लगता है? So the first thing is she tells obviously lemon चल लगता है. Second is water. Okay. Third is salt. And fourth is sugar. So with these 4 ingredients, you can make lemonade over here. This is what your mom tells you. But what your mom doesn't tell you is that how much salt and how much sugar and how much lemon is needed. Quantity. कितना लगता है बताती नहीं आपकी. So what you do is, like, you are a scientist, right? So what you do is you take all these ingredients, kitchen में जाते हो, and you do permutation combination. आप पानी ज़्यादा डाल के देखते हो, आप salt ज़्यादा, sugar ज़्यादा, things like this, and you check the taste. आप taste check करते हो, आपको mom के जैसे taste चाहिए. So using these things, you go for the first try. अभी first try करेंगे हम लोग, ठीक है? The first try is you take the lemon, squeeze it into the glass. You take water, put water into it, and now you put sugar. Okay, so these 3 things are done, normal quantities. But the problem is now what you do is you put a lot of salt. बहुत सारा salt डाल देते. So now tell me, if you put a lot of salt in a lemonade, what is the taste of a नींबू पानी going to be? Anybody just guess.
Salty.
Exactly, salty. ठीक है. तो अभी आपका lemonade हो गया salty. पर आपको salty नहीं चाहिए, आपको perfect चाहिए, as your mom makes. So this is the first try. अभी first try हो गया. What you do is you don't drink it. You just give the water to plant or something. You come back to the kitchen. अभी second try. In the second try, you do the same thing. You take the same amount of lemon juice, same amount of water, but now you have taken a good amount of salt. और अभी प्रॉब्लम है कि you put a lot of sugar. Exactly opposite. You get lemonade, but what will be the taste of the lemonade now? बहुत सारा sugar डाल दिया उसने. Yeah, so it will be very sweet, right? It will be very sweet. So second try maybe you tried lemonade, but बहुत sweet हो गया. First इसमें salty था. Third इसमें you again try. Okay, so you are the kind of guy who never gives up. Guy, girl, whatever. Who never gives up. So third try करोगे. Third try में you put lemon, water, very less salt, and very less sugar. So salt और sugar नहीं है आपके इसमें. So what you get is sour lemonade. Sour means खट्टा लगता है. So taste of lemon is too much. So that is known as sour lemonade. Now you have the knowledge that if you put lot of salt, salty होने वाला है, lot of sugar, sweet होने वाला है. If you don't put both of these things, it's going to be very sour. So you have this knowledge now. और fourth time अभी try करोगे, which is the final try because now you have all the knowledge to succeed. So you put lemon, water, sugar and salt in the perfect quantities, एकदम balanced perfectly डालते हो, and you get the perfect lemonade. Perfect नींबू पानी मिल जाता है आपको. Okay, you put everything, lemon, salt, sugar, water appropriately, balanced में, and you get a perfect lemonade. So why am I telling you this? Okay, इतना example, इतना deep example, why? So the reason is, now just substitute that salt and that sugar for acid and base. Okay, so we'll do one thing. Either we have salt, right? So for our example, just consider this as a acid. Just consider, okay, so acid, and consider sugar as the base. Okay, and the taste of the lemonade, क्या taste को हम लोग करेंगे type of salt. Okay, type of salt. So if I put lot of acid, okay, if the acid is stronger and if the base is weaker, okay, I'm gonna get my solution to be acidic. मेरे को acidic salt मिलेगा. ऐसे, okay. So for the next slide, it will be very much clear as to why I took such an example. Is this the types of salts? Okay. So now let's just assume what is happening is that focus on the left side. Salt either, okay, sugar and taste. So I've taken three parameters: salt, sugar, and taste. And on the right side, I've taken acid, base, salt. So just correlate it with each other. If I put more salt and less sugar, I'm gonna get salty taste. Okay. Similarly, if I take an acid which is very strong, take a base which is very weak, so the kind of salt I'm gonna get is acidic. Why? Obviously because acid stronger है base case से compared to base. Okay. Now the second point is that I take less salt, more sugar, so my taste is going to be very sweet. Why? Because sugar will overpower the salt. First case में salt overpowered the sugar. The same way, acid or base में अगर acid is stronger, it overpowers the base. They do form a salt, but it is not neutral. It is acidic क्योंकि acid overpowers the salt. जैसे इधर taste overpowered है. Secondly, if the acid is weak and the base is stronger, what is going to happen, right? The salt will be basic because the base will overpower the acid. Same, अगर sugar ज़्यादा डाला salt से तो taste बहुत sweet होने वाली है. Same, if the base overpowers the acid, then the salt will be basic. And if we put everything perfectly together, salt, sugar, तो taste भी perfect होगा. Same way, if the salt and the base are both in the same values or both strong है, तो फिर salt will be obviously neutral because no acid and base is going to overpower each other. Okay, so this is the basic understanding behind it. And before I go to the CFUs and check for understanding, I want you to ask me if you have understood this. Give me a yes. Okay, acid or base are two different things, and what happens when a strong acid and a weak base, mix together? What is the nature of the salt? So salt का nature क्या है? And you take this. If you are confused, just think about the types of salts over here. The more the power empowering it is, the more the stronger the acid is, or the more stronger the base is. That is going to be the nature of the salt. If they are both strong, the salt is going to be neutral. All right. So this is the basic working of the types of salts and how they are formed. And we have seen what neutralization is in the previous lectures, but if you can see over here, acid plus salt. Sorry, it should be acid plus base. Sorry, acid plus base is equal to salt, but it is not necessarily neutral. मतलब same होगा इसका मतलब नहीं है. The reason is that acid and base, if the acid is strong, pH is going to be smaller than 7. Salt का pH, the pH of the salt is going to be smaller than 7. If the base is stronger, the pH level, which is nothing but potential hydrogen, the power of hydrogen, is going to be obviously greater than 7. And if the acid and base are same or stronger, then it is neutral. pH is going to be 7. All right. So these are the basic types of salts. And the reason why salt is acidic and basic, we'll go into that in the later part of the lecture. But this is what happens. So now I'm going to go to test our knowledge. So, okay, so the rules over here is okay. So pay attention. Is the first is I'm gonna post a question on the screen. Okay, you don't have to come off mute. Off mute mat aa jao. Personally in the chat box message me. Okay, personally. मतलब अभी chat box में जाके I'm just gonna change the setting is to host only. So whatever you type in the chat box, type the answer in the chat box and send it to me. Okay. So it's default. So if even if you send any message, I'm going to receive. So I just change the settings over here. Okay. So the first question goes like, if I take a solution of strong NaOH base and strong HCl acid, what will be the nature of the salt? Okay. So how will be the salt be? It would be acidic, basic, or neutral. So quickly in the chat box, go and share your answers with me. I'll wait for let's say 30 seconds so that everybody can answer. Okay. Great. I can see Shubham, you have answered. Adi has answered. Jatin, Radha. All right. Rest of y'all, I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I've got one more answer. Don't come off with an answer. They just put it in the chat box so that I can know that all of you have understood it individually. All right. Sakshi has also answered. Thank you. I'm going to wait for 10 more seconds so that more people can answer. And after that, I'm going to request someone who has answered to come off mute and explain why they have answered that. Okay, so I have 7 answers till now. I'm going to wait for like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. All right. So I can see that Shubham, you answered neutral. So can you just quickly come off mute and tell us why you have given that answer?
Because the NaOH means base is also strong and acid is also strong. Both are in equal proportions.
Absolutely, Shubham, you are completely right. So, folks, as the base is also strong and the acid is also strong, if you mix them together, the nature of the salt will be nothing but neutral, and this salt is actually NaCl. Okay, so I'm going to neutral over here. The answer will be neutral. So, thank you, Shubham. Kudos to you. Apart from that, Adi, Sakshi, Radha, Jatin, you all gave the correct answers. So wonderful for that. So we go to the next question, folks. Same thing you have to do. I'm going to read the question out loud. You have to send the answers to me in the chat box personally. And 7 people have sent me the answers this time. I want to know. Okay. Just think about it, what we just said, 5 minutes ago, and then give me your answer. So the second is, if I take a solution of strong acid and weak base, what will be the nature of salt? What would be, how would be the salt be? It would be acidic, basic, or neutral, or whatever. Okay, I can see already from the chat box buzzing. Okay, all right. I have 3 answers. I'm going to wait for 20 more seconds. 4. All right, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I love this. So many answers. Okay. Great. This is amazing. Yeah. I'm going to wait for about, let's say, 10 more seconds because I have many answers over here. I'm going to request someone to come off and tell us what they are thinking. Okay. Shubham, you're raising a hand, but I'm going to give someone else a chance. Okay, so I want to hear everybody's voice. All right. Great. I have 10 answers right now. Jatin, you're raising your hand. So you have answered acidic. So please come off mute and tell us why. Like, what was your thinking process? How did you think?
But yeah, I answered acidic because, as you tell before that, if we have some solution stronger or more powerful, so we get that one only.
Absolutely, Jatin.
So
Completely.
that's
Yep. So kudos to you. When the claps. You know. So the answer is nothing but acidic, and most of you have given me the correct answer. I can see that this is the most popular answer here in my chat box right now. So all of you have given the correct answers. Kudos to you. All right. So we go to the last objective question now. So the next question is pretty obvious, and I want all of you answer in the chat box. Okay. So if I take a solution of strong base and weak acid, what would be the nature of the salt? Obviously, so I can see the chat box is already buzzing. Okay. Great. All right. I have about 5 answers till now. Rest of you all, I want answers from you. People who are not responding, because now I can see who are responding and who is. So yeah, I will call. I'm pretty shameless that way. Yeah. So let's say, okay, I'm gonna wait for 10 more seconds. Books quickly in the chat box. Give me your answers. The rest of you who have, thank you so much for that. All right. So let's say, or great. So I have like 12 answers from all of you. So Sujal, you're raising your hand and you also answered. So Come off mute, tell us your answer
Yes,
and why.
Bhaiya.
Yeah.
As we can see, the base is strong and acid is weak. Therefore, the nature of salt is basic.
Absolutely, Sujal. Wonderful. So yeah, as Sujal has told us that the base is strong, acid is weak. Obviously, we know that whatever is stronger would be the nature of the salt. All right. So obviously it is basic. So I'm just going to write it over here quickly. So for everyone to see, those of you who didn't know the answer also, now you do. So what we have understood from this is that the parent, okay. So if you have acid and base in a neutralization ka reaction, acid and base is known as the parent, okay. All right. So the parent, जो भी stronger parent है, that is the nature of the salt. Always remember, whichever parent or whichever, if the acid is stronger, if the base is stronger, whatever, like whoever is stronger, that is the nature of the salt. Okay. So you're great. So this is the main three types of salts, as we can see over here. And we're going to go to the second question now. So now this question is based on a previous chapter, not previous chapter, this chapter of previous lecture. All right. So the second question is on the screen. What is neutralization? What do you understand by it? It could be a little descriptive question, but don't worry, I'm going to wait for like 1 minute for all of you to answer. All right. So same thing. In short, just text on the chat box and send it to me. Your question, your answer, so that I'll wait for 1 minute. Okay. And Rutu, don't worry, your network traffic is slow, but it is understandable. Okay, you can later see the recording of this lecture, okay, on YouTube. So, folks, what do you understand by neutralization? And the reason I'm asking you this question is that we haven't covered it in this lecture right now, but the previous lecture we did, and it's very important for you to understand. Okay, so Shubham is in with his answer. All right, great. So that's a good answer, Shubham. Rest of you all, I'm going to wait for what, 40 seconds more, and then we'll go ahead. Okay, Radha is also sending me her answer. Okay, Kimaya has also sent me an answer. Oh, wonderful. You're sending me great answers. Adi is also sending me his answer. All right, people, 20 more seconds. And then, what? I'm going to go to the next part. So, yeah. Okay. I have 5 answers with me and 23 people in the classroom. So, come on, people. All right, Sandesh also sent me the answer. Wonderful. And Aditi also great. I'm going to wait for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. I have 7 answers with me. And I'm really proud to say all answers are correct. Okay, so wait a minute. I'm just going to call someone. And you have to explain to me and the class why have you written this. Okay, so let's say I'm going to request. Okay, who do I request? Aditi, if you're there, can you just come off mute and tell us your answer and what was your thought process, okay, in front of the classroom? Okay, I think Aditi, there's some network issue or something. Okay, I'm going to request Sakshi, if you're there, can you just come off mute and tell us your answer and your thinking behind it?
Okay, so neutralization is when acid and base when we mix it, it form neutralization.
Okay, Sakshi. So yeah, your concept is absolutely right. So folks, whenever an acid and a base react, that process, that reaction is known as neutralization. And depending on the strength of that acid or the base, the nature of the salt is created. Okay, so nature of the salt is decided. So that is nothing but neutralization. And all the rest of you have sent me the answer. It is closer to what Sakshi said. So yeah, I'm really happy that you have a basic understanding of what is happening over here. And this question, you don't have to answer it now. It is a bonus question. Is that what happens when a weak acid and a weak base react? So we know what happens if strong, weak, weak, strong, strong is there. But what happens when a weak acid and a weak base react? You don't have to answer it right now. This is something, part of your IP, independent practice, the question I'm going to give you at the last of this lecture. So yeah, just keep it in mind. If you want, I'll send the question also on the group after this lecture. So just think what happens when a weak acid and a weak base react. Okay, it's a pretty interesting phenomenon. So with this in mind, we have just finished the first part of our lecture. We go to the second part. Oh, just a minute. Just let me clear my screen annotation. Great. So Rahul, no problem. Your brother has his lecture, so don't worry. You can see the lecture on YouTube. Okay. Okay, folks. So now this is laboratory time. So we know what happens when acid and base combine together to make salt and water, and we know if there are differences in the strengths of those acids and base, how the nature of that salt is affected. So we know this, but this is just theoretical knowledge. How does it exactly happen? Okay, so chemical equation, अगर I tell you to show it to me chemically, ये कैसे हो रहा है? And you have to know it, right? Because you are a scientist. So I have to know how to create it chemically, ऐसे lecture science equations दिखा के, and this is what we're going to be doing in laboratory time. Okay, so before you go ahead, I'm going to give you one more check. This is a big equation you can see on the screen. H2S gas plus 2NaOH, hydrogen sulfide plus sodium hydroxide, gives sodium sulfide plus water. Okay, so this is a basic reaction, nothing to worry about. We have a weak acid, H2S, has weak acidic properties. NaOH is a strong base, and we get water. My question to you is, quickly in the chat box put it, what is the nature of sodium sulfide? Now this, focus over here, this is an acid, this is a base, and this is water. So what is this compound? And what is its nature? I want these two answers in the chat box quickly. Okay, I can see, oh, Shubham, you already put the answer. All right. Radha is also, so thank you, Radha. Rest of it, I'm going to wait for 20 seconds, then I'm going to go ahead. Okay, I'm seeing one more answer. Okay, Sandesh is also put. It is salt. All right. Adi, thank you. Sandesh, thank you. Radha, okay. Oh, thanks. Folks, 5 more seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead. So what, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Ruth has also sent me the answer. So thank you. Okay, Radha, can you come off mute and tell us your answers and why do you think your answer is like that?
Bhaiya, so the nature of Na2S would be a basic only because as we see we have strong base, and I think that should be salt because salt plus water ही तो होता है.
Absolutely. Completely correct, Radha. So it is a basic salt. Okay. It is a basic salt. So the property is salt and the nature is basic. Okay. Similarly, you have to answer the second question. Huh? Second question. Okay, I've already written a basic salt. Just a minute. I'm going to clear this drawing. Yeah. Okay. Now this is HCN plus KOH, hydrogen cyanide plus potassium hydroxide gives potassium cyanide plus H2O. Okay. Now KOH is a strong base and KCN is a basic salt. We have water. So what is hydrogen cyanide? Come on, abhi upar dekho and answer. In the chat box, don't go come off mute and answer. Okay. So yeah, so what is HCN? For reference, you can just look at the above question and answer. So yeah, I want to wait for 5 seconds. It's very easy. So 5 seconds ke liye I'm going to wait. All right. I can see many answers right now, so that's great. I want to request Sandesh. Great. I like your answer. So can you just come off mute and quickly tell us what the answer is and why is it like that? Okay. Sandesh, can you just come off mute and share your answer with us?
हेलो, आवाज आ रही है भैया?
Go ahead.
हाँ, वो मैंने ऊपर का देखा, वीक एसिड लिखा था पहले, तो उधर ही मैंने वीक एसिड लिखा है.
ठीक है. But ठीक है, Sandesh, you did look here and answered weak acid. ठीक है, but just use, as a logic use करो. कि we have a strong base and have a basic. Yeah. So why is the weak acid like? Why do I say it is weak? What is the clue over here? I can show it over here. This is the clue over here. Clue है.
वो फिर वो उसका pH कम हो जाता है बेसिक सॉल्ट का.
Exactly. So Sandesh, basically I have written basic over here. Salt basic है, the nature basic है. इसके वजह से obviously the remaining acid is going to be weak. All right. Great. So this is the reasoning behind it. So this is the third question. Abhi last question पे जाऊंगा मैं, and we'll be done.
Okay.
Alright. Now this reaction, folks, everybody knows. So NaOH is sodium hydroxide plus HCl is hydrochloric acid, gives NaCl, which is salt, plus H2O, which is water. Now tell me, what is the nature of the salt? Just guess. We have NaOH, which is a strong base, HCl, which is a strong acid. So what would NaCl be? All right, I can see already answers coming over here in my chat box. Sujal, Aditya, Shubham, thank you so much. Rest of you all think NaOH strong है, HCl strong है, तो फिर NaCl क्या है? What would NaCl be? All right, I can see Prince also answering. Sakshi too. Radha also. Okay, wonderful. I love your answers. Okay, somehow all of you are correct. Good, you all are studying. That's great. Shubham, okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna request someone who hasn't spoken in the class. Kimay, okay, I love your answer. So Kimay, can you just come off mute? Tell your answer and tell us why, like, you know, what is the reason behind it, okay? Kimay, if you are there with us, can you just quickly come off mute? Okay, okay, no problem. Kimaya has some problem with her mic. Radha, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Bhaiya, as we know that NaOH is a strong acid and HCl is a क्या है HCl भैया जो भी है but yeah HCl is base है ना no HCl is acid and NaOH is base, so as we know they both are strong, so that's why NaCl would be neutral.
Absolutely, Radha. Thank you. So HCl is a strong acid and NaOH is a strong base. दोनों को mix करो strong. We get a neutral salt, which is NaCl, sodium chloride, which is nothing but the salt we eat every single day. This is nothing but sodium chloride. So we have strong plus strong gives us neutral. So this is the basic working, you know, chemical equation. If you look at the chemical equation, this is how it looks like. But our job is to understand how is it created, okay? So tomorrow if I give you a salt, for example, I just give you NaCl, you know that NaCl is a neutral salt. आपको पता है because you have read it somewhere or I have told you right now. So whatever, it's a neutral salt, okay? But if I just tell you that you have NaCl as a compound, tell me what is the nature of the salt. If I tell you this, what would you do? Okay, what would be the steps you take? For example, let's just say I have written KCN, potassium cyanide, which is actually very poisonous. So KCN is a basic salt. I have written this over here. Type kiya. It is on the screen. That's why you know. But if I just give you KCN and I ask you, now, folks, tell me what is the nature. Okay, you don't know it is basic. You just know it is a salt. So now tell me what is the nature. Okay. So now in the next slide, we're going to look at how to identify the nature of a salt. So we have a salt. Okay. How to identify if it is basic or strong, or we don't know the compounds which are responsible. We don't know what the acid is, what the base is. We just have the salt with us. So uske dwara, with using that salt, we will be understanding what the nature is. Okay, so abhi backwards propagation, reverse engineering karna hai hum logo. Okay, so go to the next slide now. Just a minute. This is a table you have to remember, keep it in mind. So I'm going to request someone to just read it quickly for us because I'm the only one who's been talking for so long. So let's say, Payal, if you're there with us, just can you read the table for us? Okay, so that'll be a great help. Yeah.
Acid, base, salt, acid stronger, base weaker, salt acid, acidic, weaker, stronger, basic, strong, neutral.
Okay, thank you. That was pretty fast and wonderful. So yeah, acid strong, base weak, salt acidic, acid weak, base strong, salt base. So and then acid base both strong as salt is neutral. Okay, we have this knowledge. Now what we are going to be doing is, I'm going to be taking one salt, CH3COONA, sodium acetate. So this is a salt, and I only know that this is a salt. Okay, I don't know how is it created, what is the acid, what is the base behind it. Okay, I just know this is a salt. And now I'm going to find out the nature of this salt. I don't know if it is basic or it is acidic. I just know it is a salt. So what will be the process? What is going to be the process? Okay. So now this is what we're looking at. I will request you all to have a notebook and a pen with you for this, because there are a lot of steps involved. Okay. So it'll be wonderful if you have a notebook and a pen with you. So I'm going to give you what? 30 seconds. I'm going to wait for 30 seconds and then I'll begin with the process. All right. Great. So 30 seconds के लिए रुक जाते हैं. All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead now. If you have your notebook, pen, or whatever material you have to, your note-taking device, basically, give me a thumbs up. All right. So I can go ahead with our lecture. If you have a note-taking device with you. Radha is giving me a thumbs up, so thank you, Radha. Rest of you all, I'm gonna wait for like 4 more kids. And yeah. Adi, Shubham is showing it us. So wonderful, Shubham. Thank you. Adi also. Oh, great people. Sakshi is also showing it. Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead now and just follow what I do, okay? Just follow. If you have any questions, just come off mute and quickly ask me the question. Don't go home with any queries or doubts. All right. So the first step is knowing what neutralization is, that we all of us know. Neutralization is nothing but acid plus base gives salt and water. So we know this. All right. And right now I have been given a salt, CH3COONA, which is nothing but sodium acetate. I have this. And now the question is, I have been asked to find out the nature of this salt. Is it acidic? Is it basic? How do I do this? All right. So now the first step is, just a minute. Okay, so the first step is now, you just write the formula of the salt. And bagal mein to the side, you have to write water ka formula. So HOH is nothing but H2O. Another fancy way of writing it. So H2O. So this is nothing but water. So I'm going to be writing it in this style. Okay, so salt. I have my salt over here and my water over here. Okay. So this is the first step, salt and water. Now what I do is I go to the next step. Is nothing but you have to dissociate. Okay. You have to differentiate the ions of this acid and the base. So look at CH3COO, and for this you need a little bit of practice also and a little bit of knowledge also, which you would gain after reading your textbooks and more exposure to this. So I have more experience in chemistry, so I know that CH3COO is one ion, or Na plus will be another ion. Okay, so you have to break it down, break this salt down into its ion, cation and anion. So idhar jaake is the cation, here it is anion. Okay, CH3CO minus. So I broke it down. Similarly, water ka bhi you have to do the same thing. You have to break it down into cation and anion. So H plus is nothing but the cation and OH minus is the anion over here. So you have to break it down like this. All right. So you have to break the salt down into its ionic ions, and same with water. So this is the second step. And I've written it over here as well. Is that dissociate the ions of the salt and water, write ion and cation separately. So that's what we have been doing right now. Now the second step is to join the cation of salt with anion of water and vice versa. So you just have to add plus and minus. उनको mix कर दो. So how does that work? There's nothing but I have CH3COO minus over here and I have OH plus over here. OH minus, sorry, H plus. What I do is I just combine both of these plus and minus. Okay. And similarly, on the same front, what I do is, just let me change the color here. So Na plus, I combine it with OH minus. Minus or plus को combine कर दिया. Okay. Now I'm going to be getting something which is nothing but the acid and the base. So I write the complete equation. So I'll show you the addition over here for easier understanding. So Na plus OH minus is nothing but NaOH, which is our base. How do I know it is a base? Because उसके लिए study लगता है. And also the second is OH minus. Whatever compound has OH minus is nothing but the base. So you can also remember it like that. Now also, if you look over here, CH3 COO minus plus H plus is nothing but CH3COOH, which is the acid. And how do I know that this is the acid and this is the base? Is just look for the OH minus ion, H plus ion. So whatever ion ko H is combining it with like that is the acid, and whatever base, so whatever ion is combining with OH minus, that is the base, sorry, okay, and that is the acid. So this is the base and this is the acid. Just look at where H plus and OH minus combine. So that is the reason. And now I come to the last step. Is just let me clear the screen. बहुत कुछ लिख दिया इधर. All right. So it is. Yeah. So the last is to check which component is stronger. Okay. Now for this you need to read more chemistry, read your lessons and everything, because now you have the chemical reaction with you. CH3COH plus NaOH gives CH3CONA, which is a salt, plus H2, which is water. Now we know by studying that NaOH is a very strong base and CH3COOH is a very weak acid. So I know this. All right. How do I know this? Is because you have to study for this. And yeah. So with this in mind, I compare NaOH is stronger over here. This is strong. And this is weak. So obviously we have a weak acid and a strong base. So we will get a basic salt. So this is the reasoning behind the basic salt. Okay. So I had the salt and finally I got the nature of that salt. And how did I do this? Is nothing but this is the 5-step process over here on the right side. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this to have it with you because you're going to be needing it. So this is nothing but you have to reverse engineer this. And for this, if you understood this, give me a yes for now, because I'm going to take one more example and you all are going to be helping me solve it. So quick recap, 1 minute may I'll tell you what I have done is, first of all, I have been given a salt. I don't know the acid, the base. Okay. I don't know the nature of it. The question is, here is a salt, tell me the nature. So I have CH3CONA. First step is to write it in this format. Acid plus base gives salt plus water. So I write water over here. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. HOH. HOH is nothing but a fancy way of writing water. Okay, the formula of water. Now the second step is to differentiate, split the ions. So I split the ions over here. CH3COO minus is the anion, Na plus is the cation. Same water ka H plus, OH minus. Now you have to add plus and minus, plus and minus. So what I've done is either minus hai, either plus hai, add kar do. Just a minute. Yeah, I just add over here. So you get CH3COOH and plus or minus add kar do NaOH. Now how do I know which is the acid, which is the base? Kuch nahi. The compound where we have OH, that is the base. Where we have H, that is the acid. And with all of this information, you have to write it in the chemical equation form. All right. So now having this equation, we now go and check with the knowledge we have कि अभी इसमें stronger कौन है. So now we know that NaOH is a strong base. So CH3COOH will obviously be the weaker acid. And we know that the salt takes the nature of the parent, मतलब इधर NaOH. So NaOH is strong, it is base. So we have a basic salt. All right. So if you understood this, give me a yes in the chat box. And the next question we are going to be learning that we are going to be solving simultaneously. So you are going to be telling me the steps. All right. I can see 4 or 5 yeses in the chat box. I'm going to wait for 5, 6 more people so that I know that the class has understood it. If not, I'm going to give you an IP right now. So वैसे भी समझ आने वाला है. So yeah, Shubham, Adi, Radha, thank you so much for that. Folks, I'm going to go ahead now and go to the next step. Okay, so the next example, now you have to help me solve it. Okay, I have been given a salt and we have to find the nature of it. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Great. So we have NH4Cl. So this is a salt which I have. Okay. This is a step 1 here. This is a salt. I have to find the nature of it. Okay. So what is the nature? So what will be the first step be? You can type it in the chat box, or you can come off mute and tell me also. So whatever, it's up to you. Kimaya, you are confused. Okay, no problem. What I'm gonna do is you just follow this example, okay, right now. And if you still don't, then I'll tell you separately. Okay. So Shubham, go ahead. You are raising your hand.
We will take the anion and cation.
One step before that.
Bhaiya, before that, we will write HOH meaning H2O only. Taking
Water. Absolutely, Radha. First step will be writing HOH, which is nothing but water. Why? Is because acid plus base is salt plus water. So abhi salt hai water. Now the second step, Shubham, go ahead. You just told me the second step. All right. I'm also seeing in the chat box. All right, people. What would be the second step be? Now HOH लिख दिया. All right. So Adhi, go ahead.
we will write anion and cation.
Adi, what's your answer? You can go ahead if you want to answer.
Then like we will in the HOH and in NH4Cl we will differentiate between them in anion and cation.
Absolutely. So rather, the answers are same. So yeah, absolutely, this is correct. So we will split it, dissociate it, differentiate it. Okay. So that split is going to give us either NH4 plus and Cl minus. Similarly, over here we get H plus, which is the cation, OH minus. Okay. So now we have gotten this. We come to the third, this is the second step. Now we come to the third step. So what would be the third step be? Someone who has not answered. Someone who has not answered, sorry, yeah. Or if you are very shy, if your mic is not working, you can type it in the chat box as well, okay? All types of question answers are okay over here, so yeah. Or wait for one. Just look at the previous slide if you have taken a screenshot of that, or else if you don't know how to do it, just that also tell me, okay? Yeah. Okay, Radha is telling me, okay, complete the equation. All right. So what you do is now you just add the plus and minuses over here. So just a minute, let me change the color. Yeah. So we have plus, minus, minus, plus. So nothing but add these two together and these two together. We get something which will look like this. NH4 OH plus HCl. So this is what we get. Yep, Shubham also gave me the answer here. So we'll add plus and minus, not plus plus. All right. So there is nothing but the fourth step. And now you have to complete the equation. There's nothing but write the salt over here, which is NH4Cl, and water over here, which is H2O. All right. All right, so we come to the second last and last step. Now, folks, what would be the step B? We have NH4OH, HCl. This is a base. Why is it a base? Is because OH either. So this is a base. HCl is an acid because we have H over here. So salt and water. Now I know that HCl is a very strong base. Sorry, very strong acid. What is happening? Very strong acid. Why is it strong? Is that it completely dissociates in water. So this is strong. What would be the nature be of
Acidic.
Absolutely, Radha, acidic. And Kimaya also gives the answer which component is stronger. So yeah, I know. Okay, so now this step is very important, people. This is where your knowledge is going to be coming into play. Is that HCl is a strong acid? This I know because I have studied or whatever I've read. So now for the fourth step, your knowledge is very important. If you don't know which is strong, which is weak, nothing's going to happen. Okay, so I know there is strong acid. So with that in mind, I come to the conclusion is that NH4Cl is nothing but a salt, which I already know, and it is an acidic salt. Why? Is because HCl is a strong base, and NH4 is HCl is a strong acid, and NH4 is weak base. Yeah. So this is nothing but acidic salt. All right. So this is a basic process of finding out the nature of the salt. And don't worry if you don't understand it right now. You can ask me a question, or there are many practice questions also, which are available in your textbook or in the packets or everything. So the more you practice, the more you're going to be understanding this. All right. So Adi, go ahead. You raise the hand.
भैया मतलब like do we have to remember many क्या बोलते हैं compounds that are they acid weak strong or like that?
Yeah, you have to. So there is this part about inorganic chemistry. Okay, so there are a lot many things you have to keep it in mind. All right. So yeah, there's some basic points. Actually, there are various reasons why acid is strong, but you don't have that in your syllabus right now. But once you understand that, it'll be a little easier. Okay. So radicalization and things like that. So yeah, Adi, for you right now, you have to, let's say, learn or just memorize it. Some acids and some bases, what are the properties? So you have to do that. Okay. Great. With this in mind, folks, we come to the last part of our lecture for today. I can say, Kimaya, your query has been cleared. So yeah, great for that. Is an IP. IP is nothing but independent practice. So don't give me the answers right now. In this lecture, I'm going to be sending this on the group after this lecture. Is that you have 3 questions and you have to answer them. Obviously, submit these 3. Take a screenshot or create a PDF. Now you know how to create a PDF of those photos. Send it to me personally on WhatsApp by 3 p.m. This is the question. 2 are objective, and the last one is this is 3. This is not 2. Identify what is the nature of the given salts: FeCl3, Fe2SO4 thrice. So, see, use the same method which we used. All right. And yes, Shubham, you're asking me, Bhaiya, can you provide us the chart? Okay, that's actually a pretty great suggestion. I'll send you the chart of the basic, the most important acids and bases, and are they strong or weak? Yeah, I can do that. It's a great question. All right. So with that in mind, people, 3 p.m. tak submission hai. Uske baad I'm not going to be accepting it. All right. So 3 p.m. just have 4 questions. It's not going to take time. Maximum 10-15 minutes is going to be taking. All right. Great. So with that in mind, people, we come to the end of this lecture. You all have been amazing as always. So we are at 12:55, and I'm going to be stopping.